Oh. We have to start over.
That's okay.
No, we don't. Okay. Hi, everybody. Hi, everyone. I thought we had to start over, but I'm so excited to be on this interview and share with you Laura Brownwood. Brownwood. I knew I was going to get that wrong.
Not
Laura Brownwood, right? Yes. I'm hot. Laura and I met in San Diego, like I was doing the U.S. National Celebration. I spoke, and Sue Ward, some of you on the call or the webinar tonight might know who Sue Ward is, probably lots of you, but she's Dr. Wentz's nutritionist, has become a good friend of mine. And she asked me if I would go and meet her dear friend who wanted to do a little presentation while we were there. So that's what we did. And she had told me all about Laura. A little bit. It was super cool to meet her. And so we had this very laid back presentation in beautiful San Diego. And I got to meet Laura. And I was so impressed by you, Laura, that I knew, like, that day I wanted to learn from you. I wanted to be your friend. And I knew I wanted to share you with my team and as many people as I could. So you were actually in the audience, which was fun. When I spoke that day, and did you love that I called you out, because it was surprising. I was like, oh, Laura, there you are. So that was fun. So Laura's also been super patient because my schedule's been crazy, but we are sharing you, Laura. I think I told you this, but we're sharing you on our day that we do a Nourish the Goddess Within call. And you are actually our first interview. We've done an in-home thing that was beautiful, and just these beautiful magical beings came, and we learned so much from each other, and we really wanted to continue to do that. So we're here to honor you and be grateful to you for sharing your stinking amazing story. And you guys, I've only heard Laura's story once, but I've shared it, what I have known, like 50 times since I've gotten back. You are an inspiration to me, and I cannot wait to hear your story again. So that being said, we're going to go ahead, and then we won't be able to have live chat because this is recorded, and I'm sharing it next week. So you guys are hearing it, but you absolutely can post your questions in the comments, and I'm sure Laura would be happy to answer them at another time, and I hope we get to do this again. So please share whatever you feel inclined to share with us, Laura.
Okay, I will.
Okay.
I'm going to start back in the late 1960s. First of all, I'm 70 years old. So
and first of all, I'm going to interrupt you already. I apologize. I forgot to say Laura is a Ruby director with USANA Health Sciences. I forgot to totally say that. So she's awesome. She's been with our company, and she's a Ruby director. So, whoop. Okay, now go. Apologies.
Okay, so back in the 60s, I modeled in Hollywood. And when I got through with that, my husband and I wanted to go on a serious health. We wanted to be healthy. We wanted to honor our bodies. And so I started studying, and I had to figure out how to eat because Hollywood had told me how to eat. They had me exactly the size. I did a lot of fitting model, and so I had to be exactly within a half an inch of the sizes they want. So they told me what to eat most of the time. And I did pop a few pills that the doctor said I had to have too, which was a long time ago.
Yeah.
So I'm really studying. At the time I spent probably about an hour a day studying. And then we had our first child, and we moved to Oregon. And in Oregon, I just really studied. I really started studying. I would study, and this is with a small child. I was taking care of my grandmother who had a stroke, and I was pregnant and I had another child through all this. So don't ever say you don't have enough time, ever. Because I would study 4 to 5 hours. I studied the Bible for 1 to 3 hours, and I would study nutrition, and I would study. And I was very fortunate because I was a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church, and they have a huge health message. And I really appreciated a lot of the teachings. And the teachings they have, when you walk into Sonovive Medical Institute, you can't tell the difference pretty much. It's amazing. At least back when I first went to Sonavive.
Some of these people on this call aren't going to even know about Sonavive, so I'm excited for you to share. Well,
Okay,
that's your story.
Nope, you never Sonavive, everybody. So then then we decided we were going to have a natural food store. So we bought this natural food store, and it was called Commonwealth, and we named it Promise Natural Foods, and we had a big cloud with a rainbow and the scripture down at the bottom. I wish above all things thou mayest prosper and be in health. And that was on the front of our store. And it's still, the store's still there in Canyonville, Oregon.
What year is this, Laura?
This was in 1978.
Okay.
So I had a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old. And my husband ran it. I did all the ordering, and people would come in and say, so what supplements should we take? And I'd say, I don't have a clue. If you want to come to my nutrition class, I'll teach you how to eat. Everything was organic in the store. You know, I taught people how to sprout, how to just eat food in its healthiest state. And we had an organic orchard, organic garden, and organic greenhouse at our first property we moved to in Oregon. And now we have the whole store. And so, you know, people would come in and I'd just say, come to my class, come to my class. So I taught a lot of classes. Sometimes they were 8-week classes that I would build upon it.
Wow.
And my precious children, 2 and 5, would sit there and play on the floor.
Yeah.
And they would just say, are they real? And they were so precious. I will say they were raised with morning and evening worship every day of their life. They learned a Bible scripture every morning. I mean, they were just, it was a very beautiful, beautiful energy going around us. So then I start teaching some Bible classes at the church and the nutrition classes at the same time, and also very much getting into holistic healing, hot and cold therapies, which is, remember Sonavive, they have these hot and cold pools there, and they understand that. And so, but that's something that I had learned way back then. And so I did a lot of it. Listen up, everyone. If you have a small child, if they have an earache, all you need to do is put their feet in a bucket of really, really warm water and keep it hot for 20 minutes. And I promise you, the earache will go away. You don't need any pain killers. You don't need any antibiotics. The earache will go away. Anyway, so I was teaching this and doing all this. And one day I get a call from the man who owns the hospital in our community. And he says, we're killing a little 83-year-old lady with drugs. Would you be willing to see her? I mean, legalities and stuff.
And you were you were just teaching in your community and had the holistic store and just continued to self-educate and all that. Okay.
Okay. Now, he had heard my Bible. I was doing the intellectual Bible studies. I read the Bible through a couple times, line upon line, precept upon precept. I knew what it was talking about, and people could ask me a lot of questions. So he sat in that, and his wife had gone to my nutrition class. So they knew a lot about it. So that's why he said, because she had come home and told him about the hydrotherapy and everything.
Right.
And so this little lady comes over to my house, as precious can be. This is Central Oregon. The sun was shining brightly. And I put her outside on a lawn chair. I take her off the Jello they had her on and put her on papaya. And I did hot and cold therapy on her chest 3 times a day.
What was wrong with her?
She had pleurisy.
Yeah.
So that's a mucus in the lung. It's the same treatment works for pneumonia and children with congestion in their chest. Yeah. So it's congestion in your chest. And 3 days, she could breathe fine. She was ready to go home. Wow. Stronger than ever because she had not had any of the medications.
And the sun.
And I will, listen, there is a time and a place for medications. I have, if I break my neck, please tell them to give me all the medications they want. But I taught all these people for the 8 years I owned the store how to get away from medication. They come in and say, I'm on high blood pressure, and I'd say, well, try eating these foods and these foods. And I was helpful for, quite a few. So then I was known as the witch doctor, basically.
I'm sure.
If their child had an earache and somebody told them, they would call me. And so that's the basis of what's going on here. Then when I moved back to Southern California, when my children were raised, we moved to the country to raise our children, moved back, and I'm living in La Jolla, California, right on the La Jolla Cove. I have a cute sign, lifestyle change, wellness, and weight management, and I'm going to teach people, healthy lifestyles. And it was just really wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time. I had 2 of the top executives from Intel. I had one of the men who started USA Today. Wow. I had some very, very impressive people who came, through my program, and I was doing really well.
Yeah.
And then I was on a trip to Houston. My girlfriend is a PhD, and she was talking about how we have to keep our minds healthy, and she wanted me to talk about how to keep our bodies healthy. So there was a women's group of about 30 women. So we went down there, and I was teaching the nutrition, and I do some food prep classes and things. And all of a sudden, my upper back started having some pain in it. And it was just like, oh my goodness. And so I got a massage. Somebody worked on it. And just to make a long story short, by the time I left there 3 days later, they had me in a wheelchair getting off the plane. And
say that again. Okay, so you're in I
was in so much pain. I had to be, by the time we got me on the airplane, when we got back to San Diego, they took me off in a wheelchair.
Okay, I just need to get this in perspective. You're a young woman. You are
I was in the 48.
And had been living incredibly healthy.
Eating impeccably well, running 40 miles a week.
And that was a long extended time, right? Like you started this when you were young, like younger than 48.
I didn't even drink any alcohol until I was 40. And then I drank in moderation. So, I mean, yes, impeccably well. Eating organic, eating food in its natural state. Didn't eat, the only processed food I ever remember eating was tofu. And then a lot of times I made my own tofu. So
because I need people to, you're living in California. Okay, so I need you to have perspective of, in the Midwest, I feel like we're several years behind. Now there is, like attracts like. So I am in a community of very healthy, conscious people. But even within that community, we have so much to learn. I think California has always just been so far ahead. So for us, like when you told me that story to begin with, that you grew your food from seed. I'm like, what?
Okay,
who does that?
Yeah. Okay.
Who does that?
Nothing out for a few years when my children were little, nothing out of a box, a bottle, a jar, or a can. We didn't even use olive oil. We ate olives. And
this is what I'm saying. This is important stuff for people to understand how healthy you were. You were absolutely putting nothing processed. I mean, you were so intelligent and so in tune with your body, doing all the right things, moving your body, la-di-da-di-da. I bet, did you meditate? So you prayer, all that stuff, you took care of your mind.
I was definitely in a positive attitude.
Yes.
And so, I had all that going for me.
Okay. So then you go to Houston with a group of very intelligent and forward-thinking, health-conscious people for a big health thing. And you're doing great. And all of a sudden you start having pain. And by the end of this couple-day trip, you were wheelchaired out. Okay. So all freaky and crazy. How could this possibly happen to me? Incredible pain. Go.
Okay, so first it's like, okay, I'm going to do my hot and cold therapy. And I mean, it was worse than normal, but I started doing things that I would tell other people to do. And I was also in a group in Encinitas, California, where there's a lot of forward-thinking people. And there was a chiropractor, MD, naturopath, acupuncturist, herbologist, reflexologist, lots of natural people, and we would meet once a month. And if one of us was having an issue with one of our clients or patients, we would say, well, try this and try this. So we would collaborate.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to the osteopath that was there. I went to the chiropractor. I did acupuncture. You know, I mean, I was going to be okay. I did all these things. I mean, I've helped all these people over the years. I'm going to be fine. Basically, on and off, I was bedridden for 5 months. When I wasn't going to make a living with my sign wellness out on my doorstep if I can't get out of my bed.
Right.
So I had to go back into the corporate world. I went to Western medicine. They gave me painkillers, anti-inflammatory, and muscle relaxants. And I went into the corporate world. I would pull off of them as soon as I could. I mean, just as long as I could make it to work, I would just take the least amount, even if I was in a lot of pain.
Tell me what your pain was. Like, we're talking.
It was all over my body, my muscles, my joints. At one point, a friend of mine had taken me to Palm Springs and said, you got to get out of bed. Come on, let's go do something. So, and I could, sometimes I could walk. I mean, sometimes I could do things. But for the most part, getting out of my car, I looked like I was 110. I mean, I couldn't move very well. But anyway, I was walking down the streets of Palm Springs and my lower back started hurting, and it hadn't really hurt. It was my kidneys. And I had to sit down on the curb for 45 minutes. I couldn't even walk.
Oh my gosh.
So then there were times I had to go to the emergency room because my leg, one morning at 3 a.m. in the morning, my leg starts swelling and it's really hurting. And I look at it and I think, this could be a blood clot. So race off to the emergency room. I come back with a soft cast and crutches, which I spent quite a bit of time with the soft cast and crutches.
And still, though, there was no diagnosis. No one had any answers. They're just trying to figure it out. And
they would look at I go into the emergency room or just to the physicals trying to figure it out. And they'd look at my chart and they'd go, wow, this is amazing. Everything is so good. It's like, okay, I can't get out of bed. And one doctor said, you're so much healthier than I am. What do you do? It's like, yeah. So for 6 years, I went undiagnosed. Now,
what? Hold up, 6 years? 6 years.
I went to 3 different medical groups. I mean, I did everything in my power. And I was West Coast regional manager helping to launch Sprint PCS back in the day. And I had money. I had
So you could afford whatever services to try to figure this out, and you did. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
But I didn't want. So then, after a couple of years, they said, okay, we need to put you on prednisone. And I said, I don't want to cover up what my body is trying to tell me. I want to figure out what my body's trying to tell me.
Yeah.
And I said that to one doctor, and she looked at me, and she was like the highest up you can get to. And she looked at me, and she goes, wow. That makes so much sense. She says, it's so simple, but it makes so much sense. Yeah. And then I had my lifestyle change brochure with me, and I showed her one of the panels that talked about, you not covering up what your body's trying
from your teaching. Yeah.
And so that was a little sad because here she is wanting to learn from me, and I'm. Yeah. So now there were times when I could go for, whenever I could, I would walk around the Cove in La Jolla, which is about a half a mile. And if I could get out of bed, even if I had to kind of do this, and sometimes I could walk somewhat normal. It just was on and off. It would come and go. I was always in pain, but there were times when I could function a little better. And one of these times we were down, I was watching some friends surf. And my partner said, why don't I just launch you into a wave and you can just lie on your tummy and ride the surfboard in? And it was, oh, yes. I mean, I had straight blonde hair in the 60s.
You had what?
I had straight blonde hair in the 60s. I'm a surfer girl.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I was 52 at the time, but I said, oh, yes. So I did. I just rode the board in on my stomach. And it was just, being out there and riding in a wave after living in Southern California in the 60s. I mean, the Beach Boys, the whole thing. And
Oh, man.
on my fourth ride in, I just said, please, please give it to me, please, please. And I jumped up on the surfboard. Now, I couldn't even get out of a chair or out of my car, but I jumped up on the surfboard and I rode it in. And my partner comes and goes, okay, wait a minute. He says, let me show you how to do this. That's wonderful. So he lays down on the board, jumps up and shows me how to put my feet, because I put them this way. I need to put them this way. There's no way I could get off that board on land. So there are alpha waves in Mother Ocean. There are healing alpha waves that I studied all about, because how in the world did that happen? So I was able to. So that's one day we were on a surf trip down at K38. It was one of the weeks when I could get out of bed. And I'm sitting on my surfboard and I'm looking up at this big, beautiful building. Big, beautiful building. And I said, what is that? To one of the Mexican surfers. And he goes, Holistic Hospital. Holistic Hospital. I thought, Holistic Hospital? I mean, I'm holistic. Hospital, that's an oxymoron. What's
Sure.
So I go, like, next day I go over and I asked if I can have a tour. And I walk in now. In my natural food store, everything was organic. We sprouted all the seeds we could.
Crazy.
I even sold the first organic clothing available back in the late 70s.
Yes, you got to keep saying this stuff, because it just keeps getting like, we need to understand, like, what you were so like.
Yeah, I wasn't putting
100% in. Yeah.
No toxins around. I mean, we didn't ever use any sprays, or we used white vinegar. I mean, we were deep into it.
Yes.
So I walk into this facility. This place is Sonavive Medical Institute. It's about it's 39 kilometers south of San Diego, or the border. And it's everything. It's everything. Now I need to back up a little bit. I sat in many lectures with some of the best and the top authors in our nation during the 80s and 90s. I mean, I wanted to just, the Fit or Fat, there was, I forget his name, but I mean, I'd go to hear him, and I'd listen, and I want to grab the microphone out of his hand and say, no, you need to do this or this. And the only one was the only one that I didn't want to grab the microphone out of his hand was the man who, the aerobics, Young, the doctor that came up with all that.
Yes.
He was cool.
What's his first name? I know who you're talking about, though, but anyway, it'll come to me later.
Yeah. Anyway, so I was just so knowledgeable. I had studied and studied. I mean, I could have 3 PhDs in nutrition, exercise. I mean, it just was, I had spent and stuff, and I would just get frustrated. Mm-hmm. I even went back to a week-long there were 5 PhDs and 5 MDs at this retreat in Vermont, and it was called Green Mountain and Fox Run. And I wanted to grab the microphone out of their hands. And by the end of the time I was there, they were all sitting at my feet asking me questions.
What?
Yeah, seriously.
Was this during your time of being sick?
No, this was before. Okay, now, so I give you all that as a firm foundation.
Yeah.
So knowledgeable. So I walk into this place. Organic clothing on the people, organic food, sprouts all over the place. I mean, we had sprouts, I had 6 sprouts going at all times. I go into Sonavive Kitchen and they have 14 sprouts. I was the sprout queen of the state of Oregon. I had the largest herb and seed shop in the state. And that's
What? Yeah. In California. Wait, California, Oregon.
No, this was Oregon.
Either way.
And that's the urban food history
yes.
of the nation. And I had the largest shop.
P.S. Okay, I knew this was going to be so sticky. I got to tell you one thing. First of all, I don't even know, like, can you tell people, I don't want to get too far off track because we're just getting to the juicy stuff, but, well, not really. It's all great. this like sprout, like, I'm sorry, even as a health coach, holistic health coach, I know a lot of stuff, but like, I don't even know what that means. So you say, I have 7 sprouts. I'm like, 7's not that many. And then you're like, Son of Eve has 14. Like, still doesn't sound like that many. Can you explain just
Okay.
really briefly what that even is?
You've heard about alfalfa sprouts.
Yes,
That's
yes.
what I've heard about. Okay.
Yeah.
Then there are broccoli sprouts. And
Yeah.
there's, you can do lentils. You can sprout lentils.
Yeah.
You can sprout, well, I didn't even know you could sprout fenugreek until I walked in. And I was a sprout queen. And I walked in, I said, what kind of sprout is that? And they said, fenugreek. It's like, I mean, I sold barrels full of fenugreek, but I didn't know you could sprout them. So I was so impressed.
Okay.
So impressed. So I just said, okay, I have to come here.
Mm.
And so I had gone off all the drugs. I had left the corporate world. I just would rather stay. I had enough to get me by. I would rather stay in bed than to take the drugs. I didn't want to poison my body with what they were giving me. And they kept trying to pressure me to take prednisone.
Mm.
And I just, so I go to Son of Eve. I had to borrow money to get there. I said, I don't care if I ever buy another car, another pair of shoes, anything else. I need to go to this place. And it was like $4,500, and a friend lent me $2,000.
And how long ago was this?
This was in November of 2002.
And you had been feeling like this for 6 years.
6 years.
Gone to every possible hospital. That's, I'm sure, it's cost a lot of money, and it really tanked you. Like,
yeah.
In your business. And
so, well, I couldn't do my wellness business I gave that up, but I did do well in the corporate world, and I bought a couple cottages in Laguna Beach. Just at the time when vacation rentals were starting to take off, and they were adorable little batten board cottages, and they're right over. See up there in the wall?
Yeah.
That's a picture. I don't know if you can see
it. Definitely, I'll talk to you about that for sure later.
So anyway, I did start making money because they were 2 of them, and so I would turn the other into vacation rental. And sometimes I'd be bedridden, and I'd have to talk to the people on the phone and stuff, and organize the cleaning and stuff. But anyway, but I was making it. Mm-hmm. But when I go down to Son of Eve, I'm so impressed with everything. And 2 days into the testing, now I had been 6 years of every test I could possibly get in Orange County and San Diego County. And in 2 days, they said, here's what we need to do. And I said, what? 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 And they said, well, you have mercury poisoning.
In 2 days. So you were there 2 days.
2 days. And they did hair analysis. They did 25 more tests than they did at any hospital. I mean, so many different. I mean, they did the urine and the blood and the stool, but they did so much more. And in 2 days, and it was like, wow. And so, where did I get that from? As a child, I had my whole life. I had serious allergies. I mean, I couldn't even sit on the lawn as a child. I would break out in welts all over my body, and pet the cat, and I would just start sneezing. Dust, if there was dust around, I would just sneeze and could hardly breathe. I didn't have asthma, but I had serious allergies. And so my parents, and when I was 4, had taken me to the doctor, and I'd gotten allergy shots for a year, every week. And then when I was 11, we fenced our 30 acres, and we cross-fenced it. And so I put creosote on the fence posts that we were building our fences.
You did, for your family.
I did. I mean, I helped my daddy do it. But I was 11. Both of those are years when everything's building. And so I have arsenic comes from creosote, and mercury comes from allergy shots. Yes. So because I had eaten so healthfully and detoxed myself on a regular basis as much as I could, I made it to 48.
Through your food and the way you lived your lifestyle.
Okay. Yeah, actually I made it to just about 50. Mm-hmm. And So I was able
And
to.
then it was tapped out. Then
Yeah,
there was just
then it was just, it was like it hit me and bingo. So it was definitely tapped out.
So interesting.
Yeah. So so then I just looked at him, and the woman who had owned the natural food store, where the biggest income of a natural food store is supplements. It's not the fat food seeds. Yeah. It's not the amaranth or the wheat. It's not that. Yeah. It's the supplements, because it's, or anything processed, but we didn't have very many processed things. So they hand me this handful of supplements.
Because they said you had mercury poisoning. That was the.
They said, oh, there were three things I left out.
Yeah.
So I also had, I was low in nutrients. And I looked at him and I said, doctor, if I am low in nutrients, I eat better than anybody. What is the rest of the world? Yeah. And he just said low in nutrients. And so he gives me this handful, and they had me do, they said I would need 20 chelation therapies. And so they had me do a couple there. They took out the mercury that was in my mouth very carefully, because that has, the amalgams in my mouth, because that has mercury. But you have to have it taken out carefully, so you don't just go and get your amalgams taken out. And I just started feeling better and better. I went through a detox where I had a fever, which is fine, because I know I've never taken an aspirin for a fever. I know that a fever is trying to get rid of things. So I worked, so you do hot and cold when if you ever have a fever, folks, just do a hot bath, stand up, and you will curse me, but it's okay. And do 3 minutes, or as long as you can stand, of cold, and then go crawl into cotton sheets with the wool blanket, and you will sweat out your fever. Yeah. It is just a glorious. Now, not the 3 minutes of cold. Literally, it's like you will go, who is that lady? It's bad.
It's true though.
Yeah, it's miserable to do it. Yeah.
Recap for me again. So you go in, you sign up, you say, I'm staying here. I can't believe how awesome this is. I believe I need to be here. So you sign up, you get started. In 2 days, they told you have mercury poisoning, you're low in nutrients, and what was the third thing?
Arsenic.
Mercury, arsenic, and you were low in nutrients. So they started a detox. They did chelation therapy. Can you please explain what chelation therapy is to the audience?
It's vitamin C, and that's kind of a rough draft of it. And it's intravenously, and it helps your body flush out. Because according to, if you look up Google it or look in the textbooks, you can't get rid of mercury. It does not leave the body. But the chelation does help it. But I didn't get to Sonoviv when I first saw it. I had to come back.
Okay.
I came back because it was summertime. We were surfing. I came back a few months later when I got the money and everything organized.
Okay.
And so I start taking these supplements, and I'm feeling better and better and better and better. I didn't even go back for the other 16 chelations. I just felt so much better. I had energy. When I was in my 20s, we'd go on hikes, and I would just sit down and just be so tired, and the allergies would just wear me out. And now I was feeling better and better and better, and it was like, wow, I have so much energy. And I was taking the supplements they gave me for, there was a lot of them for inflammation. Mm-hmm. And so that's where the pain was coming from, all my organs, my joints, and everything.
They were freaking out because of the mercury and arsenic poisoning that just hung out for all those years.
Yeah, okay. Right.
Okay.
And it was an experience that, continuing to feel good and continuing to feel good and continuing to feel good after 6 years, it was like, what are these things? And the people at Sonoviv said, oh, you're going to want to get into this business. It's really cool. You would do really well in it. And I said, there is no way. When I had my little sign up in La Jolla, the network marketers came and pounded my door. One of them even stuck his foot in my door. The president of his company was coming to town. That'd be like Dr. Winch, or yes. And because I had this adorable cottage right on the coast, they wanted me.
Yeah.
So they said, we're going to bring our president. And I said, no, you're not. I'm not interested. I don't know anything about supplements. I mean, just go away. I teach people how to eat.
Yeah.
So I leave Sonavive, and I'm not going to do it as a business. And then I have a friend who has this pain and stuff, and it's like, well, here, try this. And then another friend that had some things, well, here, try this. And listen up, folks. My daughter had a 5-month-old baby, and on Christmas Eve, after that November I got back, she went to her to get a pap smear, and she came back, and it was really bad. Beginning stages, and it was really bad. And so in 5 weeks, she was to go back and get scraping and freezing and all this stuff done.
Cervical cancer?
Yeah.
Okay.
And so, but on Christmas morning, I had already had this ready, and Christmas morning she opened up the supplements that I had given her. The USANA supplements that had the essentials, the Biomega, and the Proflavanol, and at the time Poly C. And so I gave her that. Well, she took that for 5 weeks, and then we went to the doctor. She pumped her milk. I had the 5-month-old baby, or 6 months at the time, and waiting. They said it would be a 3 to 5 hour procedure, so we were all set up. Half an hour, she walks out and says, the doctor said the lining of my cervix was pink and healthy. Like, what? I mean, what? And it was like, could it be the pills? I mean, seriously, what? And so then I'm starting to pay a little bit more attention to this business. And I had signed up as an associate just because I had to order so many products that I figured they said you'd get paid back if I figured out I'd do that. So then I had the BDS there, and once
business development system.
Yeah, thank you. The business development system, which is what you get when you sign up. So I go over and I start reading it, and I start listening to some of the cassettes in those days.
Yeah.
And once I'm driving down the road, and they're talking about the importance of the type of folic acid and the type of supplements and the amount and the form it's in and everything. And they said, if you get it in the right amount, it will keep the lining of your cervix pink and healthy.
What? In one of those cassettes?
Exactly what the doctor had said hers was. And I started screaming and just going, it's the pills. It is the pills. And then I Google USANA.
Yeah.
I was thinking by then I had a little bit of stock. And I thought, I'll put, this little bit of stock, I'll see if, what this company, and they were the 3rd best performing stock on the NASDAQ that week. I said, okay, I got it. Yeah. I'm taking this. And I started working the business. And I have helped thousands and thousands and thousands of people, like my daughter and like friends. It's so much fun. And here's a little side note. So I'm taking a lot of pills, and I had a lot of inflammation. Well, guess what, folks? Allergies are an inflammatory problem in the body. And it was 6 months before I realized I didn't have the allergy issues anymore. I didn't have to blow. I mean, I still blow my nose quite a bit, but I don't have, that's all I do is I blow my nose, okay? My mother tells me never do it on a date. I'm not exactly a gentle nose blower. But, I mean, it was like they're gone. I mean, my eyes don't itch. My throat doesn't itch. They're gone. And that's just a side effect from these supplements.
That was secondary to you being more pain.
Right. And then I was down at Sonavive. I took my daughter down there, and I was down there watching her. That was one of the first babies they ever let at Sonavive, because they knew I would take good care of him. He was 9 months old and he was a little easy baby. Anyway, I'm kneeling on the lawn, or I'm crouching down because I can't sit on lawns. And he wants to play in this one little place, and it's like, I tried to say, come on over here, and it's like, no, he wanted to play there. So finally, I just thought, I'm just going to sit on the lawn. I'll go and rinse off my legs as soon as he's ready to move. I sat on the lawn, and for the first time since I was 4 years old, I did not break out in welts, because allergies are an inflammatory issue, and I was taking care of that with nutrients that were feeding my body, and I can sit on lawn now. I can go through a dust storm. I can pick up and hug a cat, can sleep on my neck now.
What?
Yes, I am so appreciative of these products and what they have done for my life. And that's the physical part. That's my income. That's how I make my living, is by helping other people. So.
And coming from a place of not wanting anything to do with that part either.
Yeah. They got me hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah. Well, I've already welled up twice during your story, and it's really hard not to right now. And I say to people when I'm sharing with them, I know it sounds corny. I know it does. But really, like, I've been with USANA for 22 years, and you've been with them a long time too. How long?
14 years.
Yeah. If I can continue to share with people and serve people and be part of what we get to do, I mean, if I still get like this and I'm fighting back my own emotions, I don't know anybody else that's ever shared that with me, that they love their work so much, and it is such an incredible honor. I'm sure there are lots of other things maybe, but I just am so honored to be, and I get to meet you, and we share this journey of this responsibility that we feel now and the joy that comes from it. So it's actually, it's an absolute win-win.
It is. And I would like to throw in for the USANA family aspect of it.
Yeah.
I don't want to deviate too much, but I lived on a boat for 10 years. And my neighbor, whenever I've traveled all over the world. I was doing extremely well in USANA. And I would go to Europe, I would go to the Caribbean, I would go to Mexico, and I was traveling. My neighbors who had the boat next to me, they would water my plants and take care of everything. And one day I said, okay, I'm going to be gone for 5 days. And they said, oh, where are you going? Where are you going? I had just gotten back from a Mediterranean cruise. And I said, I'm going to Salt Lake City. It's our convention. And they said, oh. And I said, no. This is my favorite. This is my favorite vacation. This is the favorite place I can go. And they went, Salt Lake, you gotta be kidding me. And I said, no, I promise you, this is the best. And when I go, I get more hugs. And I write a news article for the Marina News. I get more hugs. And I am in, besides everything else at USANA Convention, where they teach you and they show you, and there's new science. It's just amazing. But one of my very favorite things is hugs from the USANA family. And this chick and I will be hugging big time in August.
Yes, we will. Thank you for that, because convention is coming up. So there's so many things, and you don't even know this, so this is even extra cool. I'm taking a group of people to Saint Aviv, October 7th through the 12th. And you didn't even know that. And so it worked out really, really perfect to the Nourish the Goddess within, and just your beautiful story, and the people that I've been talking to about Saint Aviv. And, it's so good to have other perspectives and be able to share our stories, because our stories are how we connect with people. And for those people that haven't connected, well, they connect with me or they wouldn't be on this call. But how cool is it that we get to share each other's stories, and we know that those stories are so impactful to people. I know, Laura, you're sitting here talking to me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot wait to send this to all these people. And I'm so excited because your story is so unique to you. You're so passionate about serving people, and your story is so powerful. You are already doing everything that we know that we should be doing. So Saint Aviv, the stuff that we do there, if you can talk a little bit more about that for a second. What I'm trying to tell people right now, and I have never been there, I've just been hearing about it for years. And so I'm so pumped. If I tell people, and this is without me even being there, if I had someone that was sick that I loved, I would be so sold out to doing absolutely everything I could to get them there, because I've just heard, literally probably hundreds of stories.
Oh, yes. There are people. I've been there a lot of times. I've been there more than just about anybody else, because I lived in San Diego and I've taught classes down there. But I've seen so many people get up out of wheelchairs and walk across the dining room floor, and there's not a dry eye. It's like at dinner time, and they'll be there, and it's really fun because it gives them, they've got the physical, but that also gives them the emotional with everyone.
Yes.
And Sanaviv is body, mind, and spirit.
Yes.
It is the combination of what it's all about. And so my favorite vacation is going to convention. My favorite place on earth is Sanaviv Medical Institute.
Really? And you've been all over the world.
All over the place. And it is my very favorite. There's a vortex of energy there that both Scripps, oceanography, and NASA document that goes right to that property. And that's why Dr. Wynn bought that property.
What?
A vortex of energy. And I've taken student pilot, and I can fly little planes.
What?
There are vortexes that you have to know about when you're up in a plane, because it has energy. And there is one that goes right there. And here's one more thing about Dr.
No,
Witt.
I don't want you to stop. You keep going, whatever you need to do. I know, I do too.
There is, so the second time I was there, the first time you just get diagnosed, and I went back for a 2-week detox. And I was there with a woman who helped him decorate Sanaviv. And I already knew the 2 psychologists that helped him set up Sanaviv, that helped him with the exercise and the spiritual. And they had helped him. They worked in a room with Dr. Wentz for 2 years. And if you want to know anything about somebody, work with them in the small room for 2 years. And that's one of the things that sold me, was he is the real deal.
Yes,
the dude is the real deal. He's not. And so anyway, they came, and the woman that was helping him, she knew she couldn't have any kind of toxins anywhere. And so everything, she was decorating and helping, but she couldn't have any toxin. And she is rolling her eyes back in her head, just telling me the story. She says, so we need some carpet. We can't have, not carpet. We need a few rugs. We're not going to have carpet because we're not going to have glue. And we're not going to have, the tiles that are laid with the perfect kind of adhesive that's not toxic. And she says, so we take organic wool into the wool mill. She says, and you talk about embarrassing. We don't just get them to make our carpets. No. We have to run an entire batch of organic wool through their mills.
Oh, sure they do.
Or you can use that for his carpets. She says, I was just mortified. And I said, oh, how wonderful.
Yeah, we are like awesome.
And so there's a lot. Cool. She had several stories like that were just, and then a feng shui person that he really respected in the very beginning came, and when they got this property, south of Rosarita, which is south of Tijuana, they scraped all the soil off and brought in organic soil.
What?
So all pure. And so then they build the foundation, a couple $100,000 they've got the foundation set when the feng shui person comes. And she said, with where the energy and everything is, it would be better to have this, I think it was 4 or 6 feet lower. He rips out the entire foundation and moves it down lower.
I can't even take it anymore.
This man,
I'm not joking.
This man is the real deal. Nothing has been, he did everything to the core. Okay.
2 questions,
yeah.
if I can. I don't even want to stop. I mean, my heart is already so huge for Dr. Wentz, and it's so hard to express it. You are doing such an amazing job, and I'm so grateful. What would you say quickly to those people that are like myself or whoever that don't have any visible anythings? They just feel like they've gotten used to how they feel. I'm 70 years old and this is how I'm supposed to feel, or whatever. They want to go, but they're not maybe prioritizing it. They're maybe on the edge because they don't have a huge challenge right now. What would you say to them?
To go to Sonoviv?
Yes.
There's nothing more important than understanding your body and feeding your cells. And our health is the most important. It does, I mean, mine didn't show up until bingo. I mean, I was running 40 miles a week. I mean, yeah, I was tired and I had allergies and stuff, but it's just, everyone has stuff like that. And so there's nothing more important in this world. As I said, when I had to borrow the money and it just was, I saw what this place was capable of. And I didn't care if I ever got another car or another anything. I would have just, I mean, my health, I mean,
yes.
All arm wrestle. You said
you guys, I have felt her core. So when we met, it was great. You're 70? No.
Yeah, 70.
You're 70. So you and my mom are the same age. And my mom's beautiful also. And I'm praying that my mom comes with me. So Laura's core is like a stinking rock. She just modeled a bikini. She was just a bikini model, right? You just did some modeling in your bikini?
On the morning of my 70th birthday.
Oh my gosh, you're awesome.
Okay,
She's going to show us. Back it up. Holy Lord, girl, you look awesome. What in the heck? And it looks kind of funny because it's bright on your head. You look like a bobblehead. But your absolute body looks absolutely beautiful. But she's so strong and you're so vital. So the other thing is when people go, the hope is that Sonoviv can catch something that maybe you're not seeing.
Exactly.
And move you forward. Or give you some tweaks on how to even improve what you do have.
Right.
That means the world.
So much better than doing the stuff afterwards, because the sooner you can catch it, the better it is.
And how much did your family appreciate that you did that for yourself?
My daughter was so embarrassed. Here I am, this health person that's teaching health, and when I meet her husband, I've got the crutches and stuff. She goes, Mom, I've told them you're all into health and that we eat in this way, the way I've been raised, and you're sick, you can't even get out of the car. So my family was very, very, very happy.
Thank you. Lastly, you said a lot about convention. That's coming up. 25 years we are celebrating this year. I agree. It is absolutely so important. Tell us a couple more things that to convince people to make it a priority.
In addition to all the love and hugging, which I'm here to tell you is an effective for your health. It's oxytocin.
I know.
There are, you understand what's going on. They show you in giant form the cells and what's going on in your body. So it's an education.
Yeah.
And both in the cellular aspect and how to keep yourself healthy, as well as how to do a business. And folks, I don't want to ever, and I'm 70, but I'm still a little kid. I don't ever want to have a job. I mean, for the last 14 years, I've had time freedom. And I work, I do my stuff, but I might work 3 days, a lot, and then not work for 5 days. It's time freedom. There's nothing, and I'm my own boss. She's her own boss.
Yeah.
And I really like me being my boss because I like to have fun.
Yeah.
And I like it when my boss thinks I need to have fun. So convention is education. It's both as far as building a business and your health. And there just ain't nothing more important.
And a huge confidence booster and all that to hear it from the source.
Yes, and to see people up on stage, you think if they can do it, I can do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And lastly, I want to thank you for sharing. The coolest part of all of it is that you said you've helped thousands. I mean, that is like, I don't even know what to say after that.
Yeah. Compared to all the witch doctoring stuff I did for 8 years at the natural food store, I mean, I do more, probably every year than I did in all 8 years there, or even more than that, exponential. The amount of people, and the 95% of the people that I get on a program that the health assessment, you can tell them about that later. 95% they have more energy and they feel better and they can focus. I'm going to close with one story and then I do have to close. There's a mother with 4 children and she gets on the supplements when we first started. And she said, I've always had, since the last one was born, I've had 4 children and they were just kind of a blur. It was just, we're a tight-knit family, but they were a blur. She says, now that I'm taking these supplements, I have 4 individual children and I have enough energy to take care of them.
That's beautiful.
So with that,
I thank you very much, and I would love to have you back again. Have a beautiful day, Laura. I know you got to go, and so do I. So,
any questions?
Yeah, that would be great, and we'll set up another time to get together again. Thank you all for being on this call. We love you so much. Okay, bye. Thank you.
Hey.
So awesome.